Yeah.
You can have your seats, ladies and gentlemen. A very good afternoon. Welcome over to an amazing. Amazing opportunity for exploring Uganda. It's been almost a year and a few months ever since His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni launched what we call Brand Explore Uganda, a very strategic and intentional way for us to be able to promote domestic tourism, but on the top of that, also shine a beautiful picture on the Pearl of Africa. Today, we are graced by members from major teams of the tourism industry. And before we go into introductions, I wanted to be able to let you know that if you are here and you would love to showcase this on our social media or on your social media, please use these particular hashtags. Turambure Ankole, you will actually be seeing it on the screen. Turambure Ankole, Explore West, and Tubunjire Toro. So please use those particular hashtags so that we can get the world to know what we are here for. Otherwise, without wasting a lot of time, of the comedic society, but also in the entertainment business, also has been very heavily in the world of tourism, who is going to be an influencer on this particular project, Mr. Patrick Salvador Idringi. A round of applause to you. Thank you so much. And of course, the one and only Golola Moses of Uganda. All right. Now, I would love to say I know so much about tourism, but I will be very humble. My name is Sabiti Brian Mackenzie. I'm also known as Keller Mackenzie, a
Bro,
radio
don't turn your
personality,
power,
media
you
personality, also affiliated to
Yeah,
Talent
just scan
Africa
everything.
Group. Now, today we are looking at Western Uganda. As you look at the backboard, it is Explore West. I am from the West personally. I have been privileged to not only live there, but also be able to explore. Today, I'm very sure with our first keynote speaker, he will be able to dive into why we are here today and why we need to explore Western Uganda. Please, a round of applause for the Commissioner of Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, Mr. Vivian Liazi.
Thank you so much, Bwana Makanzi, for that good welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, you're most welcome. It began raining this morning. I think it was blessing. And we think it is time for Ugandans to explore and understand the beauty that we have in this country and also enjoy it themselves. For a very long time, we've always thought of tourism as a foreign thing, as a Musungu thing. It is them who move around. It is our time. It is our time to take advantage of this beauty and, enjoy it as we're supposed to enjoy this very country. But when we enjoy the beauty of this country, a number of things happen. Whenever you go and visit your grannies or parents in the village, you take a bit of money to them. So resources transfer from the center and they go to these places and the communities benefit. And that is one of the greatest values of tourism that it creates. It spreads the benefits across the entire value chain. Everybody benefits. You know, the transporter benefits, the accommodation service provider benefits because you're going to be sleeping in these hotels. The person giving you lunch, supper, and all the drinks in the evening all benefit. Those providing the entertainment benefit. And this is the exact value that we would like to bring into this campaign. We would like to thank the partners we are working with. Honorable Minister, there are quite a number of partners who have come on board to support this particular initiative. Our very agencies, we have the Uganda Tourism Board, which is at the forefront of promoting tourism in this country. They are very much with us in ensuring that this is a success. We do have the Uganda Wildlife Authority that is with us. It is the conservation agency and quite a number of other attractions that we'll be visiting during this campaign are within their management. So we are excited to have them with us on this campaign. The Uganda Wildlife Education Center along is also coming. Many of you know it as the zoo, but they are coming along to tell you more about conservation and teach you more about what is required in this conservation debate. We do have the Hotel and Tourism Training Institute, the one training people to work in the Hospitality and Tourism Institute, sector. Those are based in Jinja. They will be with us in this campaign. Kasese, there is also another institute we call the Uganda Wildlife Research and Training Institute. They are very much with us in this campaign. The Uganda Museum, very much with us in this campaign. I won't forget to recognize the media, and we want to thank the media for coming along to be part of this engagement. Honorable Minister, the composition of people coming along this campaign are Ugandans. We primarily have the youth, school going, and all those in the corporate sector are going to revere and appreciate the beauty that is in this country, and particularly in the western part of Uganda. We would like to promote these attractions. We would like to spotlight some of the attractions that you rarely know of, so that you also include them on your itineraries when you're traveling on an individual basis. As I began the discussion, I said we would like to also spread the benefit. We are going during the Easter season, and it would be very nice to spread some of those benefits to the communities out there. We are discovering new itineraries. We are used to going to a few of these locations, but there are a few of these new niche products that we will be spotlighting during this campaign. We would like also to excite the local communities, the leadership. They will be speaking to the area MPs, we'll be speaking to the LC5s and mayors of these places, and also telling them that we are one country, and we also love very much these parts of the country. Honorable Minister, your journey will begin on the 12th. Honorable Minister will be leading us in this journey on the 12th of April. We'll begin our journey at the Uganda Museum. Those of you who don't know the Uganda Museum, it is an opportunity for you to explore and get to know the beauties that are at the Uganda Museum. We'll leave a bit early in the morning. By around 9, we should be setting off. Our first stop, of course, will be at the equator. Uganda is blessed to have the equator crossing through this country. that the northern and southern hemisphere dissected directly at this place. We'll stop over at Kayawe and enjoy the equator, but we'll also stop at Lukaya and fill our tummies a little bit. A few of these, it is a must stop. Please make sure you stop at this nice place and spend a bit of money as well. Honorable Minister will take our journey up to Mbarara. There is a very nice farm. Those of you who haven't visited these farms and known the Ankole cow, the original one, you will be visiting it and seeing what agriculture is all about, what opportunities you have in terms of agriculture, but also the beauty of these nice cows that you will be visiting. Thereafter, we'll go to Igongo, and at Igongo, we want to engage you in some hike. You'll go to the Eclipse Monument and enjoy it. Very simple hike. You will love it. Thereafter, we'll converge at Igongo, where we'll have a cultural evening and enjoy ourselves immensely, but also be welcomed officially into Mbarara by the leadership in Mbarara. Later in the evening, please make sure we paint the city of Mbarara with joy. We spend quite a bit in Mbarara. There are quite a few nice spots in Mbarara, and we'll be spreading ourselves all over these nice spots. But in the morning, we'll take you to the palace. As you all know, there is a palace in Mbarara, the Ankole Palace, which we'll be visiting. There's a lot of rehabilitation that the Uganda Museum Department has undertaken, and we'll be also referring into the Ankole culture and understanding it a little more. We'll set off and go to Bushenyi. You will visit the tea gardens. Those of you who haven't been to these nice places, they're extremely beautiful. We'll have a few photo opportunities within the Igara Tea Estate on the backgrounds of the forests in Karinju, and you will love it immensely. There are a lot of attractions along the Bushenyi route. There are the Twin Lakes, there's Lake Africa, and we'll be, according to the time we'll have, seeing some of these great spaces and enjoying them. But finally, we'll end up at the Chambura Gorge and Katunguru. You know the Kazinga Channel? Many of you have done your geography, so you know the difference between Lake Edward and Lake George and the Kazinga Channel that connects them. The bridge, we'll cross it, we'll eat fish there, we'll enjoy ourselves. Those of you who want to take the boat ride, we'll take it from there, and that will be a very exciting opportunity before we now enter into the national park, the Queen Elizabeth National Park. Some of you will go for the boat ride on the Kazinga Channel and enjoy the beauty, the animals that are all across the Kazinga Channel. You will love it immensely. Others will go for a safari ride and see the animals scattered all over within the park space. Now, the exciting part about the evening is we'll be camping. We'll be camping in the park. Salvador, I think, has news that he will be telling you a few stories that evening. So we are excited to be part of the campfire that will be in the Queen Elizabeth National Park. So prepare to camp in this place. For those of you who can't camp, we'll organize a few, but I do encourage that you all camp in this beautiful place. We'll wake up in the morning, enjoy ourselves, go for another quick safari trip around the park, and go to the Salt Lake. Those of you who haven't been to Lake Katwe, you will enjoy the Lake Katwe and actually know where the salt comes from. There are also flamingos in that area. You also know that Uganda has flamingos and very beautiful birds that you will see in that area. Later in the afternoon, we'll all head to Kasese. Kasese is a beautiful place. It is on the lowlands of the Rwenzori Mountain. So we'll make sure that some of you are able to experience a bit of the Rwenzori Mountains. We won't climb up to the top, but I'm sure the few hikes we'll do, you will all enjoy. We'll also go to Kilemi. Those of you who studied your geography in primary, in secondary school, you know Uganda used to produce a lot of copper and disappear. I think I will look for you, something of the kind. But later in the evening, ladies and gentlemen, we'll head ourselves to the tourism city in Fort Portal. Fort Portal is where we'll have the night and make sure we paint the whole place in the evening. We'll enjoy ourselves in the nightlife of Fort Portal. Bahati Bojo, bonna tujja kubeera nabo. So please, prepare to enjoy yourselves. In the morning, we are still consulting whether the king will be there, but King Oyo will receive us, will welcome us to the city, will welcome us to Toro, and we'll then move to Sempaya Hot Springs. Some of the beautiful or most beautiful hot springs you'll ever find in the world are in Sempaya, in Semiliki National Park, and that is one of the greatest attractions we'll go for. We'll come back to Amabere Ganyina Mwiru. I'm sure all of you who studied about the Bachwezi and Bwana Gorola, the Bachwezi are there. You might find them waiting for you at Amabere Ganyina Mwiru. We'll be able to enjoy ourselves and also have a very nice picnic after there. But I won't forgive you. After the picnic, we are going for a hike. A very serious hike, and the winners will win something. There are medals to win. So we will go through the Kirenzi Hill, the Lake Saka and Chigere, and please prepare yourselves for the hike because they are very beautiful accolades to win after the hike. Later in the evening, we'll enjoy ourselves immensely within Fort Portal. The next day, which will be our final day of leaving the Fort Portal city, we'll go through Chenjojo. Those of you who know Katosa, Katosa is a martyrs site around Chenjojo. We'll visit that place and renew our faith and continue on to Mubende. You've probably heard of the Nakaima tree. Yes, we'll talk to the Bajajja Sevu. We'll end the journey at Walumbe Tanda. Walumbe Tanda, some of you may disappear in those looking for Kayikuzi or Walumbe somewhere, those ends. But it will be an exciting story as we go through Mitiana to River in the story of Walumbe Tanda and Nambi's Palace. We'll then go home. I think it will be an exciting event, and we do encourage all of you to register to be part of this experience and promote the experience. Honorable Minister, that is how we'll be moving, and I want to stop here for now. The logistics definitely allow me to speak about them. The Honorable Minister has made it possible. Transport is available for you. Transport is available for you. I've already spoken to the attractions. You will enter for free. See these places. Uganda Wildlife Authority has opened it up for you as long as you're part of this campaign. Has opened it up for you so that you see and tell the others about the beauties of this country. What we expect you to do is to accommodate yourself and feed yourself. But somewhere along the way, we'll also chip in. We'll also chip in. We should roast the bull and we all eat it. Salvadag, you get. Yes, we'll enjoy it. But basically, the accommodation and feeding, we expect to chip in ourselves. But the entrance into these parks and different attractions, along with the transportation, is proudly supported by the ministry and the agencies. And we thank them very much for that. There are a number of other corporate partners who are coming on board, especially the media. I won't release some of these secrets, but definitely we'll be happy with the drinks. So on that front, I think we've covered it very well. Honorable Minister, those are the few I needed to tell the people. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Commissioner of Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, Mr. Vivian Liazi. I'm going to ask you to grab onto the microphone and just to ask you one or two questions, please, Honorable. Honorable, this campaign is obviously dedicated to touring the entire country, but we are now into the West. From your experience going into the Elgon, and now we're getting into this, why was this the next step? Why was West something that we thought of as the next step to take on for this particular time?
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming. The media, the ministry, the agencies, our influencers, thank you for being here. Maybe just to start by introducing, because some of you might be here, but you don't know where you actually are. Some of you are saying you're in Sheraton Hotel. But this is the Kampala Tourism Information Center. It is as a result of the collaboration we are doing with KCCA. So you can find all the information to do with tourism here. You can actually book visitations to the park. You can book so whichever activity you want to participate in. You can find all the information. This is the first. And then, of course, we have others going out. So I want to thank KCCA for the partnership. I also want to welcome all those that went to Elgon with us. Golola is here. I know there are some that are not here, but will be part of us. I've been told the Madrat and Chicos and group. Miss Tourism is here. And I remember, there was a challenge when we were doing the launch that one alley would be a big deal. But all of us conquered it, all of us. And I want to thank you. Thank you so much for supporting. And that's why we are here today. Of course, there was a delay in having this campaign start. Because like I said, it's not something we've started as us in the ministry last year. It was there before with my predecessor, Kiwanda. But because of the COVID challenges, of course, we had to put a halt. But now we've begun. And we thought it a little bit different now because we are using Explore Uganda as what we launched to speak for the destination Uganda. So we shall just keep breaking it down so that it rhymes with the other tribes or regions of the country that we're going to. But it's more or less the same. But the other difference is that this time around we're encouraging Ugandans to travel with us to get the experience and share and talk about it. And I think Elgon was, it was a success, and that's why we actually inspired to go on with this campaign. Because if you look at the number of people that went to Elgon after our visit because of the visibility you gave that region, whoever participated, I think it was amazing. And I want to thank the Ugandans. And that is why we're here for Western. We want to encourage you, please come participate, tour, share, so that everyone can know the beauty that this country has to offer. But just to say this, and the figures do not lie, and this is why some people might wonder why we are concentrating on the domestic tourism campaign. We're not neglecting the foreign campaign. No, it's also ongoing. But COVID has taught us that the only way we can have a resilient tourism sector going forward, and it's not only unique to Uganda, it's global, is to focus on the domestic market before. And we are seeing the achievements, and we want to thank the Ugandans. We should all clap for them. Because if you look at our numbers for the last year that ended 2022, if you look at our visitations to the park, prior COVID in 2019, I mean, this is since we were colonized to 2019, and I think that's the year Uganda Wildlife Authority performed at its best. We had around 320,000 visitors to the parks. But even as we are recovering through COVID, last year alone, we went to 360,000 visitors to the park. So we surpassed the pre-COVID levels. We basically surpassed the levels we have achieved since parks were established. But this is because of the Ugandans. Because now Ugandans are traveling more than the Europeans, than the foreigners. And we believe if this trend continues, definitely we shall be able to sustain this sector, even when we have challenges. Like when we had Ebola recently, it was a threat to us. But because the Ugandans are moving, if I just speak, for instance, I know Uganda Wildlife Education Center is here. If you look at pre-COVID still as well, Uganda Wildlife Authority had around Uganda Wildlife Education Center, which most people normally call the zoo, had around 380,000 visitors, 2019, and that was their best performance. But when it came to 2022, they had around 480,000, an increase of over 100,000 visitors. Wow. But that is still because of the Ugandans. So we see the potential. We have a very young population. I want to encourage you, if you can't travel now, I mean, almost 80% of this population is 30 and below. If you can't travel now, I don't know when you'll travel. So please just come be a part of this, but enjoy, feel free, have fun, and get out of the comfort zone. So we are not ending with this, with the Explore West. We shall be doing Explore Northern Uganda before June. We shall also be doing a mini hike of the Rwenzori, just for the domestic tourism component. We shall not reach Margarita. We shall do a 4-day hike. If you feel you're fit enough, let's go and tackle that as well. Yes.
Thank you very much. I guess Salvador will be doing that one as well. Golola has conquered. Golola, you have conquered. You've been to the peak of Rwenzori, you've been to the Elgon, Wanali Hill, you've been in different areas. What excites you about exploring Western Uganda?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much.
Welcome.
This is Gola Models of Uganda, of Buganda. This time we are going to Western. What is exciting me to go to Western is to see a Bachwezi. I can't wait to meet that place, Bachwezi. Yeah. Secondly, I want to see where Kayikuzi got lost when he was chasing Warumi. This is not a joking subject. So those two things, they are really so important to me. For this tour, which is going to happen starting from 12th. So I'm just calling upon my people, my fans, those who miss to hike Mountain Elgon, Mountain Rwenzori. This is the time. We are going to hike Mountain Rwenzori. We are going to go and check Bachwezi. Bachwezi Banange. Oh. I can't wait to meet a Bachwezi.
Thank you, Golola. All right. Man from Mbokolo, we are going to Ankole.
Yes.
But mostly Western Uganda.
Yes.
You got good things from Western Uganda, you as Salvador.
Yes.
On an individual basis.
Yes.
At home. From Toro in particular, which is the capital city of,
yes.
of tourism that we have. Why do you love the West so much? What is...
Okay, as a fellow Westerner, from West Nile.
Okay, I'm on your side.
West
Nile.
We
are there.
I'll never get enough of my country. I've been blessed through my work to travel. And there's nothing as disturbing as reaching a place. This is your country, and you do not know anything about it.
True.
You're finding a monument, and they're telling you the history about it. But because you're focused about work, you don't give it that much attention until you sit down and go. I was actually in the West over the weekend. I was in Fort Portal, and we visited most of these sites. The Sempire, female hot springs. We couldn't get time for the male hot springs because we did everything in the same day. And because I also love females, we concentrated on the females. So that also we give emphasis to the bill, which is in Parliament. But yeah, also jokes aside, we went to the Amabere Ganyina Mwiru.
Okay.
We couldn't get time to go to the Crater Lakes because all these activities need at least a day for you to really appreciate. And I must say, this country is rich, is beautiful. In the back days, I was an ambassador for Wild Aid. It's an international organization, and they gave me an opportunity to really, really appreciate my country because I toured. It's because it was for free, eh? It was for free. So I had time to really get to learn and appreciate my country. That's why I don't mind chipping in, 100K with my family to go. And I'm looking forward to the Western visit, especially Toro, because my wife comes from there, and of course she's the daughter of the Prime Minister. So I'm a duke from Ombokolo, and going back home is an honor. So I'm really looking forward. I want to thank the Minister of State for Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, the Commissioner from the Ministry, and of course Talent Africa, the organizers, and each and every one of you here who has taken time off their busy schedule to come and re-emphasize the need for we, the locals, to know about our country. We, the locals, need to know. This center has been long overdue, where people come to get information. And I think it's a kudos to the new regime and the tourism sector that they have created this space, which is in the CBD, that people can actually come and get information about our country. And I think this goes a long way to show that we want this.
True.
And explore Uganda is what we are going to do.
It's the way forward.
Yeah.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Salvador. A round of applause for that. Very warming. Mr. Liazi, earlier on you shared, of course, about the fact that this is heavily towards domestic tourism. Some people might not understand the direct impact that your tourism experience can have on the local community. I remember it was in 2020 when we went to Chisoro, and you would find that there are families that have stopped earning, because their main earning point was tourists coming in to Chisoro to go through Bwindi, and they sell them, little gorilla sculptures and everything. And that went down. And you would feel sad for that. How important is it when we're going through to explore West, how have you been able to involve the idea that the people in the region will be able to gain from this experience?
Thank you, Mackenzie. I think, you need to understand how tourism works as an economy, that it impacts on each and every person you visit within the value chain.
Yeah.
The tourism experience begins with the travel itself. And a lot of money is exchanged within the transport industry. And we could talk of the long-haul travel. We'll go with the buses. But when we reach there, also the borders will benefit as we go to the different places of accord. And people will benefit. Money will exchange hands. We'll need to feed when we get there. And we'll be eating Chikomando, we'll be eating Rolex, we'll be eating all sorts of food in those places. And money will be going directly to those communities that are out there. We'll be sleeping in these different places. In different stages. The Honorable Minister may go into a slightly higher, some of us will end up somewhere. So, yes, the accommodation service providers are going to benefit. What we've done, and with the support of Talent Africa, which are helping us in piecing this all together, we've excited the local communities and told them about this opportunity. And that is why it is also very important that when we go there, we'll also interface with the leaders out there, so that they appreciate that when you invite in as many people as possible, the community benefits. The community benefits. Won't stop there. Maybe what I didn't talk about is the corporate social responsibility.
Okay.
When we're in Kasese, there are some schools that were really affected by the floods. Mm-hmm. And I want to encourage that let's pick something. Let's pick some scholastic materials. Yeah. Go with a set. Yeah. Go with a ruler. So that when we reach out to those students out there, the pupils out there, we make a difference. Those of you who have studied in these local schools in the villages get to see a mathematical set on the day of the exams. Now, it is very unlikely you will pass if you haven't used the divider a little bit more. Yeah. But I think if you pick 2,500, 5,000 shillings and move with the set, and when we visit that school, you reach out to that kid and say, make sure you pass these exams. You will make a difference to these communities. So those are some of the ways we are engaging with the communities, and we call upon you all to be part of that campaign. Thank you
very much. Honorable Explore West, and we just talked about the fact that this is part of the different phases that we're going to be taking on in different regions of the country. And the Western region is a place that you probably come from, so you know this very well, and you're very well versed. If you had to tell someone something spectacular about the West that maybe they could be excited about in this time round, what would that be? Especially even just for you as an individual going to experience this entire tour. What would that be for example?
Well, that's quite a hard one.
Yeah.
Not only in the West, by the way.
Yeah.
Uganda as a country, and I'll read a small quote here. So, but for me, I would say it's the weather.
The weather.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you go to the Toro area, well, Kasese would be a contrast. It's a bit hot.
Yeah.
Fort is the balancing. But for me, it's the green and the weather in Fort Portal.
Nice.
But there is a lot to offer. I mean,
definitely.
If you gave me a chance, I'd speak.
All right. Thank you so much, Honorable there. Golola, I just wanted to ask you something very simple. You're going to be moving with people. If someone is moving, are you going to be able to carry them if they're in a situation they need your help? Because you are one of the people, when people were going to Elgon, they were excited about you carrying people in water, carrying people on the hill, taking them around. What is your energy? What are you waiting for to actually experience in this entire time as you're moving with people?
When we moved last time when we were at Mountain Wanale, everybody surprised me. So what you have to know that everyone is ready, everyone can't wait to move. There's nobody who's going to get stuck.
Yeah.
I don't believe that there is anybody who will get stuck. Anybody who will get stuck, I'll carry him on the bed. from my back.
Okay, thank you. So we have to close this because we started a little late, and we have to close this. But just to get final remarks, I would love to give a special shout out going out to Miss Tourism of Uganda, who is here with us. Thank you so much for showcasing to be here. We also have global sensation, Dance Maweta, who is actually going to be a part of this tour. I will be having other influencers that will actually be joining us on this particular tour. Now, if you want to be a part of it, it will be very, very simple. There are 2 phone numbers. One of them is they're basically all on the different flyers that you're going to get that have all the information. So please call the number. Once you call the number, you'll be given details on the different packages that you can take on for accommodation. So it's very important. Another thing is that this will be a very safe and secure experience. So please be guaranteed that when it comes to health checks and comes to all these things, you should be able to take that on an individual basis, but we shall also be able to handle whatever cases will be coming ahead. Finally, I'll give a word from you to have a final word and a final remark from you before I get in some other influencers to come and support us. So please, Mr. Liazi, any final remarks?
No, thank you very much. As you gave your remarks, the head of security for this campaign came in.
Yeah.
And I want to recognize Commandant Tourism Police. We will be safe as we move along. No hooligans coming around to disturb you. So, yes, you're most welcome, Afande, for joining this campaign. This campaign is built for us to discover the hidden gems that are all over the western part of the country. I'm sure many of the places we've talked about, many of you have either read about them during your school times, but have never had an opportunity to visit them. And I call upon you to go and visit them. It's very embarrassing if you don't know Amabereganyina Mwiro, you don't know where it is. So save yourself the embarrassment and join the campaign and come and see some of these places. Come and just Walumbe disappeared somewhere. Find out where these tanda, things are and be part of this experience. So we really call upon everybody to come and join this campaign. It is for you, and thereafter, continue enjoying the West. Thank you.
Thank you. Any final remarks, Honorable?
Mine is to thank everyone who has been part of this, from the ministry, UTB, all of you, and most especially the Ugandans that you are going to travel with. And I want to use this opportunity to call upon every Ugandan. If you have some time, come go experience. I mean, it will be fun. Nothing official. No one is going to put on ties, and it's going to have fun, enjoy ourselves. And then, tell the story to those that wouldn't have traveled with us. But I also want to call upon all the other people. I know a number of people are going to come on board, participate, support in whichever way possible. And we don't necessarily need money. If you're a corporate company that is out there, you can support your team, transport them, they come and be part of us. Get them out of the offices so that they can also have this fuel. So mine is to encourage you Ugandans, and let me say this for the record. I don't know why people still think that travel in this country is expensive. It is extremely cheap. And I want to be on record, and I'll tell you why. Most of the parks, the entrance fees, I think the most expensive is 25,000, and that's Maction. Yeah. The rest is 20,000. Work now is what, 10,000? To go to Uganda Wildlife Education Center. So it's cheap. In most of the savannah parks, from Maction Falls to Queen Elizabeth, you can get accommodation as cheap as 50,000 shillings a night in the parks. Because who was also given some accommodation. And that wouldn't be camping, that would be sleeping in a room. Yeah. So travel is cheap. Let's embrace tour this country, because the responsibility of marketing it is ours. But I just wanted to finish with this quote. Just for some of you Ugandans who prefer Dubai to, I don't know, Salvador and Dubai, and then maybe the other African countries. Now, I just want to, I don't know if some of you know someone who is called, but you must have studied about someone called Winston Churchill. I think we've all studied about him. I think by the time he died, he later became the Prime Minister of England, and by the time he died, he was actually voted the most influential Briton in, I think, 2005. But when he was here, he wrote a book. I think it was called My African Journey, when he was exploring through Africa. And I just want to read for you, just in 1 minute, what he said about Uganda. Please. So that you can know what and why we are called the Pearl of Africa. Some of you think we are just saying it out of the blue, but I want to tell you the genesis. So this is what he said, Mr. Gorola. He went on to say, in my view, this is in his book, in spite of its insects and diseases, it ought in the course of time to become the most prosperous of all our East African possessions, and perhaps the financial driving wheel of this part of the world. He's talking about Uganda. So impressed he was with the natural vegetation and potential of the country compared to the rest, he toured all the way from the Cape, that's Cape Town, down south, to Cairo, that he continued to write in his book that my counsel, of course he was telling his colonial, the people that had sent him here then, my counsel plainly is concentrate on Uganda. Nowhere else in Africa will little money go so far. Uganda is from end to end a beautiful garden where staple food of the people grows fast without labor. Does it not sound like paradise on earth? It is the pearl of Africa. He's the one who said it then. Then he went on to write, for magnificence, for variety of form and color, for profusion of brilliant life, bird, insect, reptile, beast of vast scale, Uganda is truly the pearl of Africa. The kingdom of Uganda is a fairy tale. This is a Muzungu who is a non-Ugandan. The scenery is different, the climate is different, and most of all, the people are different from anything elsewhere to be seen in the whole range of Africa. What message I bring back concentrate upon Uganda. This is a book I think he wrote around 1902 or something. So you can imagine, this is someone, but some of you Ugandans here have chosen to talk about this country outside Uganda as if it's the worst country in the world, when someone else is telling us. So that's why I keep encouraging Ugandans, despite our differences, let's not cover the beauty of this country because of a few, let me not use the word, but please come be a part of us, come enjoy the experience, and we all have fun until we come back on Sunday. Thank you, hope to see you then. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable. All right, now before I get Salvador to give us a word, I would want to call maybe members of press. We're going to take a few questions. Just to be precise, I would want this to be very brief. Since we started a little later on, it would be nice if you are brief. A question per person, please. And if you're out there with a question, you will just have to raise your hand, and someone with a microphone will come to you. We have someone here, Olivia from NBS, who's going to give us a question. Please feel free to stand up. You introduce yourself and pose the question. Microphone is over there.
Thank you so much. My name is Olivia Nakalembe. I report on tourism and environmental conservation, and I sit alone on the environmental conservation desk and tourism at NBS Television. I'd want to know, maybe this question will be going out to a representative from the Uganda Wildlife Authority. Uganda's tourism industry is heavily premised on nature. The fact that we are going to visit places like the national park, what do these places bring on board in the Western region that other regions don't have? Something that someone would find unique to get to visit this place. We'd also want to know, last year we went for the Explore Elgon or Eastern region. Do we have a report on, one, the numbers of tourists that were able to tap into that tourism space? Do we also have a report on the monies that these domestic tourists brought on board? A benchmark for the ministry to actually take us to the Western region. When the commissioner was speaking, yes, we do appreciate the destinations that you have mentioned. But we also know that there are other hidden gems in the Western region. I don't want to say that the ones that you mentioned are not of much significance. But if we are exploring the West, it's also an opportunity for us to get to uncover that has not been written about. Is there a provision for that as well? But also, my fourth question is, why have we focused on the West? Well, at least from the reports that we have, the Western region has been documented time and time and again. Was it high time for us to get to visit the West, or are there places or are there regions in Uganda which boast of utmost tourism potential but have not been talked about? And what plan do we have for these? My last question is, we are going to the Western region. What are the goals? What is the end result? What number of tourists do we hope, what number of domestic tourists do we hope are going to tap into the tourism market? But also, in terms of the monies, is there a goal? Is there something that we are looking at? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for those. That's a podcast. Now, but thank you very much. We're going to look at it in this way. First of all, the Uganda Wildlife Authority, I think you answered some of the numbers that we got in the past couple of years. You respond to those, since we don't have Uganda Wildlife Authority representing. Don't worry. The minister carries all the statistics. And then also we have the idea of the different regions, which we have talked about the fact that there will be some others. Now, you can note that. Now, before we go on, we have another question. Yes, please. Please don't keep it like a voice note.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. My name is Tembo Johnson Kachiniri, aka the Royal Guard of Rwenzururu. So,
Okay.
We are exploring.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, my important question goes specifically on the corporate social responsibility Mr. Aliazi talked about. I am interested in this because I believe this core goal should be impacting society and touch the lives of those people probably that feel need a helping hand. I would like to know which specific probably facilities are we going to, which schools and have been earmarked to receive this helping hand. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. I think Ms. Aliazi, you know that. We have two more questions, so one there and then one at the back. All right, so please go ahead.
Zengenda kwogera mu Luganda.
Yes.
Nze Junju Moses, nze omulangira Junju Moses,
Yes.
nkola ne KTV ne Kingdom FM. Kyembadde nsaba kitono nnyo minisita atuweeko mu Luganda lwaki basazeewo genda mu kifo ekyo. Then mukulu Golola atubuulire bw'agenda okunoonya Walumbe Ettanda. Ne mukulu oli atuweeyo message ye lwaki asazeewo genda ng'ava Mbokolo naye agenze eri. Then tumalize.
So you want just a Luganda
Yes,
translation?
yes.
All right, that's nice. Let's get the microphone to a gentleman who is in a gray suit with a white shirt in. And that will be our final question. In case of anything else, we'll be having Q&As with camera. Thank you, please.
Thank you. My name is Franklin Draku. I work with Monitor Publications, but I'm also the firstborn of West Nile. It's like Uganda is one big destination that from 1 month to the next, there's something always we talk about. The other day we celebrated the Wildlife Day. There's the Tour West. Then Poet is just 2 weeks away after the Tour West. How do we link these all together to ensure that at least every time there's something to talk about? Instead of waiting for a special day, celebrate, then we'll go to the next. How do we interest Ugandans to continuously appreciate that we have this beauty in this country that they can explore any day, any time of the year?
All right, thank you very much. I will be able to help with that, but also I think, Honorable, you'll be able to answer that. All right, I think we have one question, please. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Hamani Kalanzi Bukede. Mr. Commissioner, kino kigenda wuwo, si kibuuzo, naye kutangazaamu. Uganda Katonda ajja okubeera ekkula, embeera ekyuka, ey'amambuka, amasekkati n'amaserengeta. Twandyagadde okumanya agenda kati amaserengeta yandyeteesereesa atya. Ekyokubiri, byonna obyogedde okuva nga 12. Naye mu byonna gye tubadde tukolera byonna, teri kibyonoona nga budde. Obudde kintu kikulu nnyo, muteesa kirala, bitandikira walala. Ebintu by'okukola bingi, byonna tubyagala. Ng'abamawulire tulina okubiraga. Oŋŋamba 2, ntandika 5, ate onsuubira kukola ki time.
All right. Definitely, that one I will also be able to answer at some point. But right now, I would want to hand over to, I think we'll start with Mr. Liazi. If you can be able to just pinpoint on some of those answers, then we can go to the Honorable to also do the same. Yeah, a bit of Luganda and English as well. Can you? Yes, that's definitely it. Please.
Okay, thank you so much. Olivia, you posed quite a number of questions, and I hope I will be able to shed some light. I know the Honorable Minister will be also giving a different angle in the questions that you raised. But you began with the fact that we are heavily selling nature, and this is something which we are trying to shift and balance. It's true, long ago we are very heavily skewed on wildlife tourism. And now we are trying to expand and show you that Uganda is richer than just wildlife. There are a lot of natural scenery, there are water bodies, culture as a very important attraction that we are promoting. But beyond that, even within the attractions that we've already pinpointed, for instance, when we take you to Queen Elizabeth National Park, many times people go for just the Kazinga Channel. But they forget that at Ishasha we have the tree climbing lions. They forget that we have all these crater lakes within that landscape. They forget the Katwe salt lakes. They forget that there is an underground forest in there. They forget of the Bat Cave and Maramagambo. And we're going to be highlighting some of these. We are going to travel as quite a big number, but we'll split ourselves a little bit so that everybody is able to see some of those unique attractions that they haven't previously seen. So yes, the new gems will be explored. There are a lot of twin lakes around that area. Many of you just know of Lake Africa, Kugute, but do not know of the many twin lakes that are in this area. So this will be an opportunity to visit as many of these as possible. We are still, you see, when you start on campaigns, the results of these campaigns trickle in over time. And we've not yet scheduled a particular study on the impact of what transpired in the Elgon region. However, I may tell you that since we did that particular campaign, and you may have been following this on Twitter and other social media spaces, many people have started doing the Wanale. When we used to sell the Mbale region, it was basically Sipi Falls. Wanale, very few people knew that you could hike Wanale, and the man from Mbokolo, you missed that one. But we are going to take you to Kirenzi Hill, and please practice. Practice, you will enjoy it. Very many people have started going for the Wanale Hill Climb Challenge, and quite a number of notables, and later we'll be sharing with you some of these notables that have gone to these places. Why are we focusing on Western Uganda? As the Honorable Minister informed you, this is just the beginning. We started with the Elgon, we've moved to the west, but we are going all over the country. We are splitting this into different campaigns to make sure that Ugandans know each and every attraction all over the country. So it's really a matter of sequencing. There is nothing very special about why we're starting with the West and not the other area. But you should also realize that the West is also abundantly blessed in terms of tourism attractions, and we'll be able to highlight some of the very best that are out there. The social community responsibility that we are going to be focusing on, there's a school, it has just skipped my head, but if James is nearby, he would sound out the name of that school that was affected by the floods. The name of the school that was affected by the floods that we'll be visiting. What is it called? Bulembia Primary School. I hope, Chief Royal Guard, you know that place. Bwana Tembo. I hope you know that place. So that is the focus, but quite a number of others being looked into. There was a question on how do we prepare from Bwana Kalanzi. Yes, kituufu obudde akaseera ke tulimu ka nkuba. So tujja kwetegekamu okusingako awo nga tutambula n'engatto ezijja okusobola ebifo ebirimu ebisootoosooto bwe tuba tubisanze. Tujja kutambulayo ne ku kijaketi wotuuke Fort Portal obudde bunyogogamuuko ekiro. So tubasuubira nti mujja kubeera ne jaketi. Nga bwe nabategeezezza nti we tunaagenda mu Queen Elizabeth tujja kuba tukampinga. Eyo nayo experience ya mulembe nnyo. So njagala we tuba tukampinga ojje n'ekisweta nga kijja kubugumyamuuko mu budde obwo. Nsuubira Lion tezijja kulumba kiro, zijja kuba ku live ku ssaawa ezo. Naye tujja kubeera n'ekirira awo. Wajja kubeera safe bulungi, tojja kufuna buzibu bw'amaanyi. Naye twagala okubakubiriza nti we tuba tugenda ku lugendo luno tufuneyo ku bijaketi ebinaatuwumbawumba mu budde naddala obw'olweggulo obuyinza okuba nga bunyogoga. Mu kituufu nti enkuba oluusi etutaataaganya naddala nga n'olunaku olwaleero twabadde tulina okutandika obudde nga bukyaliko naye enkuba neefuukamu ekizibu. Tujja gezaako kyonna ekisoboka okulaba nti tukwasaganya obudde kuba ebifo bye tuba toledde bingi. We tuba tetukwasaganyiza budde bulungi tuyinza okufunamu obuzibu. Naye oluusi ekizibu tekiva ku budde owa nti enkuba yatonnye. Oluusi tugenda olweggulo ne tulwalwayo okwo kati tugenda okubayita ku makya nti bannaye mujje tugende nga mukyegolola. Tujja basaba nti obudde we tuba tuseetinze tutambula ssaawa 2 obudde tubukuume tusobole okutuuka mu bifo byonna ebisobose mu budde obwo. Jjajja golola ebyenkuba ajja kuba abikolako tulabe nti tetonnya nnyo mu budde obwo. Ogwo omulimu twagumukwasizza. Webale nnyo.
Thank you very much. Honorable, you can please take the podium.
Thank you so much. I think most of the issues have been able responded to by Elias, the commissioner, but maybe just adding 1 or 2 things. Starting with what my sister Nakalem asked. Now, first of all, the West is full of so many things. And that is why if you see, we are just saying, and we are not only organizing for the people that we are going to move with. Some are going to come with their own private means. They can deviate and do their own kind of activities. But if you just look at that route alone, we're only going to do actually 10%. Because if you went the other side towards Kabale, you'd do Bunyonyi. If you still went through Toro, as you're going to Rwenzori National Park, you can still branch off to what they call Toro Semliki National Park. That has the most sought out afterbird called the showbill stock. If you still, as you're going, you'll see we are not going to do much of Rwenzori. Rwenzori is the highest non-volcanic mountain in the world. 3 of the highest peaks in Africa, amongst the top 5, are on the Rwenzori. We shall not do that. We shall not do Chibale. Chibale is the primate capital of the whole world. It has the highest concentration of primates globally. So we are just, but if you want, you can still deviate. What we shall do is provide for every person going to travel all these opportunities for you to deviate and experience what you think is comfortable for you. For us, we just decided this as a route. But even while there, we shall talk about these things so that this shouldn't be the last time you visit. The next time you visit or visit with your people, you can now interest them in most of these areas. And, well, like we said, we are focusing on, and Uganda is too big. Sometimes you can't do everything at the same time. We also cannot bother you every day. You have to work. We have to give you a break, mobilize resources. So because when you travel, you spend some small money. But I think it's even beyond Western, because if we start with the Kayabu here, and then as we are coming, we go to that place I want to get to, the Walumbe Tanda. So it's a mixture. But also when we're doing these tourism campaigns, it's not only for us as the Ministry of Tourism. So many other people are doing similar campaigns. So many tour operators are doing the same. I saw someone do Vumbula in Jinja, and it was a big success. Even when we talk about Nyege Nyege, these are things that we support. But yes, it's for us, we are not shy to say, because we know the importance it comes with, especially in terms of revenues and the local communities. So we partner with the others. Amos Wekesa will be doing the Rwenzori Marathon, I think in September. So we are just one of the people promoting, but we encourage Ugandans as well. Please, just come and be a part of it, participate, share wherever you want, mobilize your groups as you can. So we are just part of the so many players in the region. Now, on the issue of the Elgon figures, I think you have said it well. But trust me, we shall come back here next year and talk about the figures of Elgon. You'll be amazed, I can assure you. Because up to today, I still see people sharing the Elgon experience. And people are going there. We've heard from the local leaders and the rest. So now it is too early for you to know the impact really in 3 months. It would be very difficult for you to tell because people are planning on. So just give us time, we shall tell you. And I think elsewhere we've done this. Yes, I expected you to tell these people, mu Luganda, tutandika ddi, tumala ddi, so that they come and. So I think those were the main issues. Thank you.
Webale nnyo honorable. Ako ndowooza tubadde tukabuuse naye ku lwa bannaffe abagenda okukiwulira mu Luganda. Campaign eno gye tutandiseeko eya Explore West egenda tutwala mu district nnyingi. Tugenda zoogerako naye nga tugenda kutandika nga 12 ogwa Apuli. Tugenda kutandikira ku museum, Uganda Museum wane Kampala. We tujja okuŋŋaanira era we zinaawerera essaawa 3 tujja kuba tutandika olugendo lwaffe olwotutambuza. Luli twalwalwamuuko naye ku luno tetujja kulwa. So abo be twalindalinda ne batulwisalwisaamu ku luno bakimanye tetujja kgenda mu budde. Essaawa ezinaawerera 3 tujja kuba tutandika olugendo lwaffe kuba ebifo ebyokulaba bingi. Tujja kuyimirirako ku Equator wano e Kayabwe twongere okwerolera ekkula Uganda lyerina naddala okuba nti layini eno eyita mu Uganda. Waliwo bingi bye balagaawo ku Equator, saagala bisaabulula nnyo naye tujja kunakwekubisa ebifaananyi bingi nnyo mu kifo ekyo. Tujja kuba tukolamu ne ku dance challenge. Bajja bo babuulirako wano mu biseera ebyo. Kaakati we tunaava ku Equator tujja genda tujja akageeti owamumanyiiyo nga twakayisaawo ekulula awo. Waliwo faamu y'ente ennungi ennyo. Tujja zeetegerezaamu okwo. We tunaaba tumaze ozeetegereza tujja kweyongerako tuyimirireko e Igongo. Ebihaarwe awo waliyo akasozi ke bayita Eclipse Monument. Si kanene nnyo. Manyi abasinga tujja katuuka ku ntikko. Tujja kambuka tubeere nga tuli bulungi nnyo tulyoke tukkirire wansi ku Igongo Cultural Center. Batwanirize batubuulire ebyafaayo byankole Kingdom. Batulage amazina nga we gatambula mwankole. Tulye ku mmere yankole eshabwe n'ebirala byonna bijja kuvaayo. We tunaamala awo tujja kuyingira Mbarara Town tulabe nti ebifo byonna tubijjuza bulungi ate tulweyo okwo tujjuzeeyo tunyweko n'okunywa akawerawerako. Tujja keera ku makya tujja genda ku Mugaba Palace. We tujja okuŋŋaanira ku Mugaba Palace abamu abajjukira history wankole. Waliwo Palace gye bayita Mugaba Palace. Ministry ya Tourism etandise ogiddaabiriza. Tujja kutunuulira omulimu ogwo waawe gutuuse. Tujja kufuna era n'okwongera okuluŋŋanyizibwa ku biki ebigenda mu maaso mu Ankole, culture ya Ankole n'ebintu ebifaanana bwe biti. Awo we tujja okusinziira tukwate ekkubo eritutwala mu Busheenyi. Tujja kuyimirirako mu zi Tea Gardens. Abaali batambuddeko mu bifo ebyo oyimirirako mu Tea Gardens ezo zifaananira ddala bulungi nnyo. Tujja okuzeetooloolamu okwo tuza appreciating twekubiseemu ku bifaananyi abanaasobola okunywa kacaayi mukanywe. Twongere olugendo lwaffe olututwala mu Busheenyi nga bututwala mu Lubiriizi. Ewantu eyo waliyo obuyanja obutonotono bu Crater Lakes. Waliwo emu bagiyita Lake Nkugute. gye tuyita Lake Africa eri mu maapu ya Africa. Waliwo ne Twin Lakes nyingi. Twin Lakes zino ziri quite interesting. Waliwo emu bw'ogituukako luguudo lwe luzaawula eno mazzi n'eno mazzi, luguudo lwokka luyitamu emmotoka nga 2 zokka. Mujja kwerolerako ku kkula Mukama lye yateekawo, abantu n'abakkiriza okuyita mu luguudo olwo, abamu tugiyita God's Bridge. Kuba eno yonna Crater Lakes abazimanyi obulungi ziri very deep, si nyangu kuwugiramu. Naye yateekawo olutindo olulinakyo which we call God's Bridge. Mujja zeerolerako nazo muzitunuulire, tuzeetooloolemu, tuzirabe, nazo tuzisanyukiremu. Tujja kuyimirirako ku Kyambura Gorge, olabe escarpment eyo, ate tukkirire wansi Katungulu. Katungulu awo wali Kazinga Channel, olutindo oluseparatinga Kazinga Channel. Tujja kuyimirirako awo tulye ku kyennyanja. Bafumbirawo ekyennyanja kirungi nnyo ekivaawo mu kifo ekyo, kirimu otunnyonnyo kirungi. Tegekayo kasente tulye ku kyennyanja ekyerukaya saakyogeddeko, naye tunaayita ku Equator awo. Tujja kuyimirirako olukaya awo, embuzi yaawo awo tugiwe omulimu. Kaakati ekyennyanja kyo tujja kiriira Katungulu nga bwe mbategeezezza. Bwe tunaavaawo tuyingire National Park. Queen Elizabeth National Park edda baagiyitanga Kazinga, si we kiri, baagiyitanga Kazinga National Park, naye Queen we yajja tugamba nti webale kujja Queen, kati tugiyita Queen Elizabeth National Park. Tujja giyingira tutambulireko ku mazzi awo Kazinga Channel. Kazinga Channel eyo oba ogitambuliddeko, ku mbalama zaayo ensolo nyingi ezijja okunywa amazzi, so nyingi zojja okulaba. Oyinza n'okulabiramu empologoma, naye elephants ojja ziraba, enjovu, buffaloes n'ebirala bingi nnyo, n'ebinyonyi ebiyitirivu ennyo ojja biraba nga tuli ku Kazinga Channel. Abamu engeri gye tunaaba tuzze abangi, abamu bajja genda bakole game drive, bagende beerolere ebisolo ebibeekwesekwese eyo ewalala, Kasenyi, Hamukungu n'awalala. Olwo nno olw'eggulo waliwo akafeeyo bakayita Tembo. Tujja kuŋŋaanira awo, wajja kubaawo ekiriiroliro. Salvador yantegeezezza nti waliwo ayagala banyumizaamuuko biki ebigenda mu maaso, so ajja kubeerawo ne mukulu Gololo ajja kubeerawo, naye tujja kusula mu tenti awo ku muliraawo. Tujja kunyumirwa nnyo. Mwetegeke bulungi, jangu n'ekijaketi kyo, tenti zijja kubaawo. Abakulu aba Talent Africa bajja kuba babategeeza engeri gye tugenda okukwasaganyamu ekintu kino. Abajja kuba tebasobodde, mweya Safari Lodge eri kumpi awo ne abapaaka abo balinayo hostels obutonotono bwe tuyinza nawo okusula, naye nga abasinga tusule mu tenti awo, osuleko ebweru naawe okinyumirwe. Bwe tunaakeera ku makya tujja genda ku Katwe Salt Lake. Katwe Salt Lake eno gye tujja omunnyo, mulage wa gye tujja omunnyo, ngeri ki gye basimayo omunnyo. Waliwo awo n'akayanja akalala, wali zi flamingo simanyi bwe baziyita mu Luganda, naye awo tujja kuzeerolerako nazo mu kafo ako. Kaakati bwe tunaavaawo tugende mu Kasese Town. Tujja kulaba ensozi eza Rwenzori nga bwe tuzoogeddeko, n'ebifo ebirala. Tuyingire Fort Portal tugezezzaako okutegeeza Omukama nti tujja, era tusuubira nti ajja twaniriza nga tutuuseeyo. Naye tujja kulaba ne Sempaya Hot Springs ebiriiroliro amazzi agookya agava mu gundi. Awo tujja galaba, tugendeko ne ku amabeere ga nnyina Mwiru, abachwezi omukulu yabagambye dda ayagala balaba. We tunaava eyo ekiro Fort Portal tujja kujjuza bulungi. Then olunaku olusembayo tujja kuyitako Katosa ekyenjojo, tuyiteko Emubende, awo waliwo ne w'omukyomo mulungi nnyo. Then tujja kuggweera ku Walumbe Ttanda. Ayagala kunoonya kayeekuuzi gye yeekwese, nammwe munoonyezeeko ssebo mu bufunzefunze lwe luguudo nga lutugenda otutambula. Ekituufu abakulu aba Talent Africa abatuyambako mu kukuŋŋaanya oba okutegeka olugendo luno, waliwo amawoteeri ge bagenda okubayitiramu. Ennaku zino ndowooza ffenna tuli ku WhatsApp, bajja kuweereza ku WhatsApp bagambye amawoteeri gaagano oyinza kusula wawa wandiyagadde okusula n'ebbeeyi yaako gwe weerokyuzingireko gaye nti nze jja kusula wano weetaano, jja kusula wano weesatu, jja kusula wano wa mitwalo 3. okwo okusalawo kujja kubeera kukwo n'ebyokulya onoolya kikomando, onoolya chapati, onoogenda ku buffe, ekyo wojja okusalawo, naye ffe tugenda kukutambuza ate tukulage n'ebintu biro byonna. Tujja nakukolamu ka hiking challenge akatonotono ku Kirenzi Hill, anaawangula ebirabo ntoko, ate tujja kuddizaayo ne ku bantu. Ekaseese eyo tujja genda waliwo essomero mbakubiriza gulayo kaseeti, gulayo kadazini k'ebitabo, gulayo ku peeni, abaana tugende tubadduukirire. Bwe tutyo ojja okutambula. Kwebale nnyo.
All right, so we are out of time. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to ask you to stand up just in a line here. I would love to call upon Miss Tourism Uganda as well as Dance Maweta. Please come and join. We're going to take a group photo and we shall make it a close. We are literally out of time. We don't have any time, but we shall be having a small chance for you to ask some questions. So please, yes, let's take this group photo. Yeah, members of press, you have about a minute or so to please take this picture, and then we can call it a wrap. We are, one more time, would love to apologize for the delay, but then again, we are glad that this has been very fruitful. We have members from the comedy industry who are going to be supporting and moving with us. As you can see, we have one of Africa's greatest, Patrick Salvador, who's going to be leading this. We also have a privilege of having some gentlemen who are going to be with us. Actually, we'll have gentlemen and ladies, Zubeda, Ibrahim, Biko, Sami Kays, Jaja Bruce. They're going to be here. Are they here? Yeah? Yeah, they were somewhere around there. Yes, they're going to be with us, just making sure that this is going to be a very fun and light experience. So, yeah, thank you very much. We're going to ask the Honorable and Commissioner to please first take off from the panel. You'll be directed to the back and the lounge.